You wake up one morning. You're ready to take on the day, maybe make some coffee, go for a run. But just as you get out of bed to head downstairs, you feel a weight wrapped around your ankles. Now you quickly analyze them and realize there's a bright red button on them that would release you. And just as you're about to press the button, a voice from behind you says, "You might not want to do that." You turn around, startled, and see a gruffy man standing behind you. He explains how the button on the ankle weights is connected to the heart of a random man in the city. Now he says, if you press the button, the man's going to instantly die. However, if you wait a year, the weights will release on their own and the man's going to live. You take a moment, you might think to yourself, surely I don't want this man to die. But then again, a year is a long time and these weights are awfully inconvenient. Now I would suspect that most of you viewers would bear the weight for the year. However, the interesting question is not would you, but are you morally obligated to? Now, intuitively, at least for me, the one who is burdened with the weights shouldn't be obligated to endure this burden, especially in a matter in which they're both equally impotent to the situation. This thought experiment is equivalent to Thompson's Violinist, which is a thought experiment that is used to demonstrate the efficacies of abortion. If you were to change the random man to an unborn baby, and the weights to the hassles of pregnancy, birth, and motherhood, then the situation strikingly resembles pregnancy. Now, of course, the red button resembles the abortion. But what makes this argument so compelling is that it does not argue that a fetus is not a human life, but instead says, even if it is, an abortion is still morally permissible. Many pro-life advocates argue that this thought experiment incorrectly portrays the consensual expectations of procreation. However, this does not extend to an unconsensual pregnancy that might happen through rape. So, if culpability is contingent upon actions with expected outcomes, is abortion then also morally permissible in cases in which contraception was used? Well, no, the pro-lifer is going to argue, even in cases where contraception is used. There's still that small chance of pregnancy. Okay. But there is also a minuscule chance of pregnancy just from existing due to the brutish possibility of rape. So, do we then measure the levels of risk to designate the moral obligation to foster a pregnancy? While this may be the case, it feels intuitively wrong to derive moral weight from varying levels of risk. Now, it's important to note that the debate is far from clear, and I by no means intend to take a political stance. But what Thompson's Violinist does is it asks the question, under what moral obligation are we to continually maintain another's life? I'm Nathaniel Dillon. Thanks for daring to know, and I'll see you next time.